are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
A lie. No man is obsolete.
You have no function, Mr. Wordsworth. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages.
You're a bug, Mr. Wordsworth, a crawling insect, an ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Words, Mr. Wordsworth, that have no substance and no dimension, like air, like the wind.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions that you inject into your veins to make you think you have a strength when you have no strength at all. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream, and the state has no use for your kind.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
We are live Monday, September 13th, 2010. Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. The global engineers are using psychological warfare techniques to attempt to break our will to resist, to sell us on the lie that we are already beaten and that resistance to dehumanization and enslavement is a foregone conclusion. The very act of consciously setting your will against tyranny will bring down this parasitical world government system. And we don't have a choice. Total dehumanization and forced population reduction is the end game goal of the controllers who hate humanity and are prototypical control freaks and greedy creatures that want the world and all that is in it for themselves. We do have Don Adams joining us. I had him on a few weeks ago for 30 minutes. I want a full hour with him to really break down his bombshell information on the JFK assassination. He was an FBI agent who worked the case. This is incredible info. We covered it quickly a few weeks ago. We're going to detail it in the next hour. Then we've got Mark Moreno joining us for part of the third hour with the fact that the former head author of the IPCC at the UN has come out and said that it is a complete fraud, a complete lie. And Pachari's had to admit they made it all up. So they've gone from 8-9 months ago when ClimateGate broke to denying it even existed to now being in complete free fall. And I have the New York Times from last week saying, okay, we're now shifting out of we're doing this to save the earth from rising sea levels to just there's too many humans, we've got to reduce population. So now they're just being honest about what their real plan is. And all over the U.S. and British and European news, they're saying, look, if you won't go along with this in a democracy, we will force it dictatorially because we know best. The tyrants are now out in the open saying that they are tyrants. Now, I'm going to attempt right now to go over at least a third of the news. In fact, for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, if you can give me a bird's eye document cam shot, this is all fresh news just today. Just today. And it's all off the charts insane, illustrating how we're being bum rushed. The globalists are throwing everything at us at once. They know we're awakening, and they're trying to fully overwhelm us psychologically and spiritually and economically to dominate us. I mean, look at these headlines. I've got these all over the country today without even looking. It's pouring in. It's the same model in Australia, the same model in Germany, the same model in England and Canada. Cities are moving to make you get a license and an inspection to be able to grow tomatoes in your backyard, saying you might grow marijuana. You might be a criminal. The magnitude of this. This is WSBTV. County sues farmer, cites too many crops, For decades, on his 2 acres, has a truck farm that he sells to the local farmers market, organic. And they fined him $5,000 and are shutting him down. And they admit, well, he's actually grandfathered to be able to have a garden, but we don't care. They are harassing Amish. They are harassing truck farmers, people that grow it and truck it into town. They're harassing people that sell eggs on the street corner. They're harassing people that sell peaches. They are going after everyone. And in the House and Senate bills, we've read the quotes on air. I'm going to get some more guests on that are fighting this in the next few weeks. It openly states federal license to pick a fig off of your tree and to take it inside and slice it up and put it in a pie. We've got a fig tree in our backyard. We try to go out there when they're ripe before the squirrels get them every morning. We pull them off, big giant fig tree. We make fig ice cream. We make fig pie. It's delicious. It's out of my backyard, giant fig tree. If you slice a fruit, it is preparation and manufacturing, and you are going to go to federal prison. You are a prisoner. You are not going to grow a tomato. You're not going to do anything. You're going to go to the store, and you're going to eat GMO cross-species tomatoes and potatoes. You're going to eat cross-species fish. You are going to be killed with the soft kill weapons, period, if they have their way. They're panicking. You know, their farmers markets sprouting up everywhere. They're starting to displace the mainline big agribusiness. Family farms are starting to make a micro comeback. People are getting smart. They're refusing to drink out of bisphenol A containers. That's getting removed off store shelves. All over the country and the world, people are fighting, and in many cases, having sodium fluoride removed from their water. The globalists are panicking. They are panicking because they know you're waking up. And they are coming in and they are saying, you aren't going to have a water well. You aren't going to have a garden in your backyard. You aren't going to can for yourself. And if you do, we're going to throw you in prison. Now, if that isn't the ultimate tyranny, I don't know what is. Let's go back 80 years ago, 80 plus years ago. Within a decade of Lenin, Vladimir Lenin getting into power, if you've studied the Soviet Union, right through to the days of Alexander Solzhenitsyn in the 50s and 60s fighting in the labor camps, the first thing they did was say, you have to get a license now to have your farm. Then they would deny the license. Within 10 years, they had trained the farmers that it was illegal to grow any food on their own. It could only be done through collectives. And millions of peasants, not just in Russia, but in Ukraine, more than 10 million in Ukraine, starved to death because they weren't allowed to grow food. They had to go to government communal areas and grow it, so the government controlled everything they were doing. Now, by the 1940s, so many millions of people had starved to death, and the Germans were invading, and they needed to get food produced, so they said, okay, farmers are allowed 1 acre of land that they originally owned, peasant farmers, under government supervision, and they've got to give half of it to the government, to the NKVD-controlled people. But you're allowed now to grow your own food. This is total, complete Vladimir Joseph Stalin tyranny. Vladimir Lenin, Joe Stalin tyranny. 100%. And, of course, what did they do in the Soviet Union? They said they were doing this for food safety, and they'd run news articles about somebody who'd gotten sick from some food. They didn't do it for food safety. Just like they claim, oh, our gas taxes are down. Not true. Gas receipts are actually up. Just search that term. More cars, more people on the road. They lie about that, but they say we need satellite tracker boxes in all your cars, taxing you by the mile to go on top of the gas tax. They could easily just raise the gas tax if they really needed it. But they want to track everything you do. So they come out and roll it out in the name of raising money. Ladies and gentlemen, look at these articles. Here's one out of Town Hall where the Obama administration is publicly sending out letters to insurance companies saying, quote, this is Town Hall, Michael Barone, gangster government stifles criticism of Obamacare. That's Town Hall with an Infowars.com type headline. What did NBC say on Friday? Police state in Philly. In fact, will you reprint that for me? Police state in Philly. And it said the police are running checkpoints, searching people at the bus terminals, the trains, the roads, and there's the quote, "We can search and do whatever we want. There is no Fourth Amendment." The local police say they're now under Homeland Security and can do whatever they want. And the headline is, Police State Philly. And the headline here, gangster government stifles criticism of Obamacare. They're sending letters out to insurance companies saying, quote, "There will be zero tolerance for this type of misinformation and unjustified rate increases." The insurance companies wrote this legislation, the big ones. It does raise the prices. The premiums are going up on an average of 25%. And so Obama's people come out and pose like they're getting tough on the insurance companies, saying there'll be zero tolerance. Remember that Bloomberg headline 6 months ago? Pension funds being invested in failed banks. And then the article quoted federal regulators saying they were ordering private pension fund managers, as well as public private pension fund managers, police, you name it, unions, teachers' unions, to invest in failed banks. There's no law. They just order it. They just order it. We're going to come back and get into this and a lot more, but this is just naked oppression out in the open. We'll be right back.